I've been to Indiana Beach a few times, and it's fun. Like you ride the rides once, it's fun, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
I can only ride like a few of them because like carnival rides, I get nauseous on, and that's all they are carnival rides.
Yeah, but they got some good. What are they called?
The roller
Roller
coasters are
coasters.
good.
But yeah, the rest of it is carnival rides.
Yeah,
So,
but
but
the chairlift's fun too. I like the chairlift, the Ferris wheel.
yeah,
I don't mind Indiana Beach. I just you know
I would rather go to Santa Claus Land.
right or Kings Island.
Yep, both
Yes,
are
that
either in Indiana or within driving distance of Indiana.
what is it? Holiday World is what it's
Yeah,
called.
Holiday World.
That place is fun. That's
Yeah,
a
and
good water park too.
free sodas or free drinks for anybody in the park.
Yeah, free drinks. Don't Kings Island do that now?
Um, free water, but I think you still pay for soda.
Or do you got to pay for the food package to get the free drinks?
You got to pay for the food package to get the free drinks.
Sometimes a free food package ain't bad though. Not the food,
No,
well,
it's
not the
not.
food package, but
They're bringing that back to. Oh, anyways, thank you. I almost said thank you for choosing Ascension. Thank
thank
you
you for
for.
choosing Ascension.
God. Um, welcome back to another episode of Hoosiers Podcast with your hosts, the Chris's. Boom.
It's us.
Anyways, where was I going?
They're bringing back the food thing to Disney, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of excited about that. Not that I'm going to Disney for another year, but starting on
I am not.
starting on the 30th or the 31st, you can start planning for next year trips to Disney. So I might start
They're
trying
in,
to plan something.
they're in trouble. They closed down their expensive hotel. It was
Well,
Galaxy's Edge or whatever.
did you see that Spirit of Halloween's already moving in?
What a great meme. Right?
No, well, no
I
one
saw
went to it. No one has was it $4,000 a night,
a
and
night. Yeah.
it's not even like a hotel. It's like a show. So why go there and then also go to the theme parks and spend all that money?
Well, I think they angered a lot of people, and a lot of people quit going, and that did part of it. And I guess the pre-sale for Little Mermaid's not doing good.
Nope.
And
They released the soundtrack, and I we kind of there's like a Disney playlist on Spotify that I listen to every once in a while just because sometimes I feel like listening to Disney music.
uh
And they put the new Little Mermaid songs on it, and let's just say I don't want to watch the movie.
I guess it's not tracking good with uh, uh, critics either. It's like below 75%.
Well,
So
it's all they did was change the actress and make it live action. It's
yeah,
exactly what they did with,
that's all they did.
Lion King and Aladdin and whatever else live action ones they've done.
I saw a TikTok and they talked about it. It was a commercial for Disney back in the day, and what they offered for that was free. And here they had like extended hours and the fast pass bands. The bands for the if you stay at Disney Park, you get a free fast pass band. You didn't have to pay for it. They had the bus tram from the airport to Disney for free.
Yeah, that
If you
now that's
fly
like
in.
$50 or something.
I thought they got rid of it,
No, they brought it back.
but you got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it now, and because
Yeah.
it's not ran through Disney, it's with another company.
Well, it was never ran through Disney. It was always subcontracted out to Mears.
Oh,
So, um, but still, and they had all this free stuff, and I think that was part of the experience was, I can get in. Like you could used to get in. I don't know if you can still do it or not. Used to do. You could get in an hour early
yeah.
or
Oh,
stay 2 hours late or something like that. If you were Disney, if you stayed on Disney property.
you still can. You get the rope drop if you stay on property, and you can stay a little later if you stay on property. That's still a thing.
But church calls. Yeah, so I don't know. They're just in a lot of there's a lot of issues there, and they're dumping all of their like 1 year TV shows like Turner and Hooch, the Mighty Ducks show. They're dumping all those off of Disney Plus.
Yeah, they're dumping a lot of shows. Well, they're losing money on Disney Plus. That's why they're combining Disney Plus and Hulu into one app.
Right. Have you been on the Max app now yet?
Not really. I loaded it up once. They added some stuff and they
Dude, they added a
updated it.
lot of stuff. There's like discoveries on there
Oh,
now,
they finally
and
added Discovery Plus to it.
yes.
Finally, so you can drop your Discovery subscription.
Well, I don't have that anyway. That was given to me.
Oh, well, what's her face can drop it now. I thought you had that for some reason.
Well, she could because it's on. She has my sign in. So
Yeah.
and that would
Oh,
be cool. I don't mind.
do you want to do your shout out before we get too far into it?
Yes. So I was on a show, a podcast. I cheated on you guys. I have sinned against you.
Shame.
So,
Shame.
it's called the Hoosier State Sports Show. It's with Joey and Adam. I know Joey through when I used to write for Sports Media Pass when I wrote for the website. That's how I know him. And these two don't know a lot about the Indy 500, which is horrible for any person growing up in Indiana, even you, Kris. I'm not just pointing these two guys out. They're cool guys, real cool guys. They just didn't know a lot, so they had a lot of questions, and I explained. I tried to. I guess I convinced them. They're like, we're going to watch the race now. So, because that passion comes out when I start talking about the 500. So, but it's on Spotify. You can listen to it. So they're good guys. Give it a listen. You can hear me talk about the 500. So there you
What a
go.
bunch of nerds.
Right. But anyway, so there's all kind of funny stuff going on this week. So, of course, yeah. Oh, Indiana Jones is coming to Disney Plus, all 4 movies. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
I heard the 5th one
Finally.
is not tracking well either.
I don't
Or
know.
not the 5th.
I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, the 5th one.
I'll wait. I'll wait until
He said it's going to be his last one, so.
I hope so. He's like 97 years old.
Yeah, and he crashed a plane, so.
Right. Well, he was shot down by TIE fighters.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He was shot down by TIE fighters.
He got shot down by TIE fighters. I read this tweet because how they're talking about in the NFL. This has nothing to do with anything. It was just funny, but in the NFL, how they're going to flex the games at the end of the season to Thursdays to Sundays.
Yeah.
So, Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, he's like, that's not fair. He says you're gonna have all these fans come from Los Angeles to watch the Raiders play. You're gonna have like 300 Raider fans and 3 Charger fans come to Vegas on a Thursday. He's like, then you're gonna move that game to Sunday. That's not very fair. And I was like, damn, he just chirped on Chargers fans because he's talking about all the fans from Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
So
because
like,
Los Angeles is mostly a Raiders fan.
Huh?
LA is mostly Raiders fans.
Right.
Fake,
so I just thought it was funny.
Rams.
You're gonna have all these Raider fans coming from Los Angeles and like 3 Charger fans. I was like, wow.
Well, I get why the NFL did it because look at all the crap Thursday night games we had. Like, we know the Saints and what are all the Thursday night games? Give me one moment.
I don't even know who the Thursday night games. All I know, but still, that's still rough though. I mean, you do have. How do you plan ahead for a Thursday night game?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be prime time, so it's okay. I don't care if they flex it. Okay, so
but if
and it's only the second half.
If I've got a ticket to a Thursday night game and I take Friday off, and they move that to Sunday, I took a Friday off for nothing. Huh?
You got a month to plan.
Sometimes you need more than a month to get time off. I mean, I don't plan on it. I don't care. I'm just saying. I just think that's kind of hard to do.
So what is it? It's like week 12 and on is when they can flex, or week 10 and on.
I think it's week 12. I would hate to be I mean, what if I wanted to fly out for a football game? The cheapest tickets are the Thursday night game to Las Vegas, and I fly out on like
Sure, you usually buy your
Wednesday.
ticket. You usually buy your plane tickets a bit more in advance.
Right. So if I fly to Vegas on a Wednesday and to fly back on Saturday so I can recover Sunday, and they move that game from Thursday to Sunday, I don't get to see the game.
Well, let's be honest. They
So,
don't care because Amazon's paying them a boatload of money. So,
and I mean, it's not just Vegas. I mean, I know when I lived in Florida, like you would go to like Buccaneer games, and like fans travel to Tampa. You know what I mean? Like they travel like from Buffalo and Green Bay and Chicago,
fans
any
travel
cold
no
weather
matter
city
what.
you can. Right, but any cold weather city you can think of that's got that history, they travel to Tampa quite a bit. So I just wonder how that's gonna. That's just kind of crappy for one-off fans. It's not season ticket holders. They don't care. But I guess the one-off fans don't really care about. Really, do they?
No, they can survive. Like they don't care. It's about the NFL.
It's all about the money.
The league only cares about the TV money.
And
And
then
who has
that's not
Thursday
just the
night?
NFL. I mean, it's
Amazon.
it's every league. Like I saw this tweet. Check this out. I saw this tweet the other day, and it was from a Yankee fan, and I am not a Yankee fan by far. But listen to this. So this was tweeted on the 21st. You have to subscribe to 4 different services to watch the next 5 Yankee games. Sunday Peacock, Monday off day, Tuesdays on Yes, Wednesday Amazon Prime, Thursday Yes, Friday Apple Plus TV.
Yeah, I listened to Mad Dog Radio, and Mad Dog was complaining about that about a year ago.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah,
I loved it. Like, when I was a kid, if I wanted to watch the Reds, they were on Channel 4. If I wanted to watch the White Sox, they were on Channel 35 out of Chicago. If I wanted to watch the Cubs, they were on WGN. If I wanted to watch the Braves, they were on TBS. There was baseball on somewhere. And then like ESPN would show games. You had Monday Night Baseball on ABC. So you could always watch baseball somewhere. And if you
yeah.
were a fan, a homer, you can watch Cubs games all
Well,
year long for
that's my
free.
big
Now
problem.
you
How
can't.
long until like you have to have some sort of different streaming platform? For NFL, like you have to have Prime or YouTube or ESPN Plus just to watch a game.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
problem. It's
and
streaming.
I'm not gonna pay for ESPN Plus. I bear like if it wasn't for Star Trek, I wouldn't have Paramount, and I only have Peacock because it's free with my package of my internet.
Right.
So it's
I Yeah, I don't get the. It's a shame. I mean, how does a kid fall in love with baseball and then they wonder why people don't watch baseball or people go to baseball games anymore or why
With the
they can't
song,
keep an audience, you know?
well because
It's
one, the game is boring when you watch it on TV.
but it's not if it's done right.
it's
Dude, it's I mean,
you're telling me that that 20-1 game was was great to watch.
oh, those games are boring in person cuz they take freaking forever. I went to a
Did you
Red
see
Sox
that?
game. They blew out the
Everybody
No, they blew
everybody
out
in
the
the lineup scored in that game in the last
every
inning.
play. Really?
It was 20-1, and the team that had 20 scored 9 runs in the ninth inning, and every single person in the lineup scored.
Oh
Well,
my
it started off
god.
with a grand slam, then a double, then a single, then another double.
I've been to a blowout game. I went to a Rays game, Rays and the Red Sox, and it was like 10-1 in the third inning. And I was like, I wanted it because they ring these stupid cowbells. So if they
Yeah,
start losing, then they give up on the cowbell and you don't have to go to stupid cowbells anymore. But and then they start just throwing in reliever after reliever after reliever, and the game takes forever. And those games are boring. I would rather watch a close game than a blowout. But still, I mean, I can remember stations cutting in, like a Fox affiliate. There was a Fox affiliate in Orlando. They cut in one time because Nolan Ryan was pitching a no hitter, and they did the same thing with Fernando Valenzuela. They would just cut in. We're going to show you this end of this game because it's a Fox affiliate. So I just think it's shitty that you can't just watch a game if you live in the area. You should be, now if you live in Chicago and they're at home, you can't even watch the game. It's blacked out, which means we can't watch the game because it's blacked out.
I know. I'm waiting for that to happen with the NFL, like black out the Colts games or
They
something.
used to. You
I mean,
remember
yeah.
that? No.
I don't remember that my parents talked about it.
Yeah, because they were shitty. So
They did it with
you had to have a
Pats.
sellout. You had to have a sellout by Thursday. This was every NFL team. You had to have a sellout by Thursday, or you couldn't show the game live. And in your area, they would black it out locally. So after a while, like the first 3 seasons, all we got were shitty Colts games because they were terrible when they moved to Indianapolis. And then eventually they started getting blacked out. So we got better football games. But if somebody big came to town, like the Dolphins came to town with Marino, or the 49ers with Montana, they would sell out. Or if they were close to a sellout, like if there were 1,000 seats left, a company would buy those tickets. Or the Colts would donate them to like a kids charity, so there would be a sellout. So,
well, that's nice.
Yeah, it was, but so we never
think,
got to see the Colts for the longest time.
I think my dad's company ATA did that one time. There was like so many tickets left, and they bought a bunch of tickets, and my dad was able to go to a Colts game because
Yeah.
they gave them out to the pilots and like flight crews and stuff.
Yeah, they used to do that a lot. That was cool. And I mean, we get to see half the Colts games and maybe 2 home games because they were so terrible. Which
Oh, we're
they
getting back.
They would preempt Raider games, so I was happy that they would not sell out. So because local always took over national. So, but I just think it's kind of. I mean, people complain about freaking IndyCar races being on Peacock, and I'm telling you, that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in every sports where they're going to start paying bucks, and it's going to be NASCAR, it's going to be Formula One, where you're going to have to pay a penny, and if you want to watch it, it's going to be on a streaming service. It's not going to be on network anymore.
Look how much money Amazon paid for Thursday night rights, and it's going to go that way because they got the money.
That's right. That's exactly right. YouTube just picked up Sunday Ticket.
Yep, YouTube picked up Sunday Ticket.
I am not paying that much for the
NFL. And Peacock Paramount Plus had a big thing with Super Bowl a couple years ago.
I do pay for whatever YouTube Premium or whatever, so I can watch, so I can listen to music while not on the app.
Oh, you don't have to have the app up.
Yeah, which is honestly for me, who uses YouTube like while I'm at work and just like like while I'm doing like other stuff, it's pretty nice.
Oh, I'm sure. But you get the football games too,
and
right?
It's only like $3 or something like that, $3 or $4, which whatever.
Yeah, I mean, all of this it used to be free is going to go away. It really is, and I think it's going to be every sport. So
I mean, I know it makes it's kind of hard for me as a Cowboys fan to watch Cowboys games sometimes.
Well, I know when DirecTV had the Sunday Ticket, if you signed up at the right time of year, you would get Sunday Ticket for free. And then it was only like $150, so I would just keep it, But and then I could watch the Raiders all year long. I enjoyed that. And then you had the MLB. Does the MLB still have their thing?
Yeah, I think they do.
And the NBA and the NHL both have a league pass. So
yeah, NFL did it first, I think.
Yeah, but back in the day before the Sunday Ticket came along, and you had a satellite dish, you could watch NFL. That's how we watched a lot of hockey. Some friends of ours in Chicago. That's how I got into hockey. Friends of ours from Chicago had a satellite dish, and we would watch Blackhawk games because we would pick them up on the satellite dish. We pick up the wild feed, so there'd be no commercials. And I ended up buying one because I could pick up IndyCar races with no commercials. So that was kind of awesome. So I do have some videotapes, VHS copies, and I might have put them on DVD of Indy 500s and a couple other IndyCar races with no commercials. It's just straight satellite dish. So,
Did you get through all your IndyCar races?
every single Indy 500. I watched every single Indy 500. Yes.
Did you skip around any? Like, are there any that you just don't watch because they're boring, or do you just
Nope.
let
I
it play in the
suffered
background?
through all of them. Through the ones
gosh.
that were heartbreaking. I watched the rain delays.
The COVID years.
Yeah, I even watched that one. So, I did my best, but I got through them last. I finished up last night with 2022. So, which wasn't really that great of a race. It was kind of boring too. But some of those races, when they had the big split, because they had a big, the IndyCar had a big civil war, right? And they had a big split. There was two different IndyCar series at one time back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
From 1996 to 2008, there were two IndyCar series. So those early, when IndyCar, when IRL was created, Indy Racing League, which is a stupid name anyway, those early IndyCar, Indy 500s were crap. It was just absolute crap. From 96, 97, 98, those races they're hard to watch just because the product, on-track product, is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. They had 35 cars start the 97 race because of a controversy. And then by like lap 6 of the race, there was like 30 cars that were left. So, 7 cars had dropped out or something like that within the first 6 laps. So it's just a bad time. But I suffered through them all. But,
Well, you got to take the highs with the lows, I guess.
Yeah. So, we got the race coming up this Sunday, Kris. You can't watch. You can watch on Peacock, can't you?
Yeah, but I got plans.
You cannot make plans on race day, dude. You gotta just.
It's our last meeting with the pastor.
What pastor? He is not a very good pastor if he's doing this on race day. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Should be watching the race.
He should be watching the race and praying for the safety of the drivers instead of talking to married people.
For Connor Daly.
That's right. Anybody. I don't.
Is Connor Daly even in the race this year?
Yes, he is in the race this year.
Where's he at?
Hang on, I'll pull it up and I'll let you know. Connor is starting. It's a wacky race. Like there was they qualified the field, and Graham Rahal got.
Is gonna be there?
Yeah. Are we starting the wacky races back up?
Wacky
Graham
races.
Rahal, check this shit out. So Graham Rahal got bumped, right? Which is a big deal.
What do you mean bumped?
He didn't make the race. He didn't qualify. He was bumped.
Sucks
he was
to suck.
too slow. Huh?
Sucks to suck.
Connor Daly starts 16th. Monday they had a test session, right? 2-hour test session. And 2 cars crashed. Catherine Legg, the only woman in the field, and Stephen Wilson. They both crashed. He checked up for some reason. A bunch of cars checked up in turn 1, which means they slowed down really fast. And poor girl didn't know where to go. She slammed right into the back of him.
Gosh.
I don't know how I've never seen anything like this. So I don't know. There's no blame. It was just it's one of them racing deals, I had never seen anything like this before. Well, anyway, Wilson breaks his back in the crash, right?
Oh, gosh.
So the hang up there is you have Stephen Wilson uses a Chevy motor. Graham Rahal uses a Honda motor. So we were trying to mull through who was going to take the ride, for the race, right? And they had a press conference yesterday, and they worked it out, and Graham Rahal is in the race, driving in Stephen Wilson's car. So they worked it out between engine manufacturers. So Graham Rahal, in like 48 hours, Graham Rahal went from being bumped, having the emotion and realizing he's not going to be in the Indianapolis 500 to being in the Indianapolis 500, filling in for an injured driver. So,
well, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm happy about it. Graham Rahal's a really nice guy. He's a really good guy. So, but and so Stephen Wilson. Actually, I had met Stephen Wilson on Friday. I had one of my pictures I had taken. I had one of him, so I got it autographed. So, but Steph's in the hospital. He's going to be all right. He kind of fractured a vertebrae. But so that's coming up. Like I said, Connor starts 16th. He's got a fast car, though. I think he's got a good race car. That's the important thing. Is you have a good race car more than anything. But with that being said, and I'm not even going to try and predict who wins the Indy 500 because, like Bobby Unser said one time, you got to be stupid to try and pick a winner for the Indianapolis 500. So
I picked Connor Daly just because he's an Indiana boy.
I mean, he's a great guy to root for, no doubt. If I had to pick, I would pick somebody. Pole sitters don't do very well winning. So
is it your cousin that does the betting?
What? My nephew bets.
Yeah, nephew. Who's he putting his money on?
I don't know. He does a couple of long shots. I would say he would probably pick. He does long shots because the favors don't pay.
Well, yeah.
So, he's. I don't know if he'll put any money on Rossi or not. Rossi's usually our guy. That's usually a guy we root for. But he'll probably put money on. He might put money on Connor. He probably put money on Marco Andretti. Your favorites are going to be Alex Palou, Pato Award, Marcus Ericsson, Scott Dixon, those guys. So those could possibly do it. But my guy's Ryan Hunter-Reay. He'd probably be a guy. He might pick him too. We like Ryan Hunter-Reay. I'm rooting for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He went in the race last year. He's in the race this year, though. So he's my guy. He's always been my guy for the past, I don't know how long, 10, 12 years.
Oh,
which leads me into my segment, Kris.
Oh, your
top 10 racing movies.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Are you ready for this?
No, but let's go.
We're going to go through the list.
Because I don't even have a list, so.
I have 11 in my top 10 list, and because for years it was always the Big 10, but there were 11 teams.
This is going to be the Fast and Furious movies.
No, speaking of which, the Fast and the Furious movies use the F word 56 times.
All of them combined, or like?
They use the F word 56 times in Fast 10.
In just 10?
Yes.
I mean, I'm always down for an F-bomb.
No, the family is the word they use.
Oh. Family.
They use the word family 56 times in Fast 10.
He just bathed us so bad.
I know. Did they family themselves into space on a Fiero?
Who the God knows? I don't want to watch it. That's all I know. I saw somebody on a TikTok that said somebody pulled the fire alarm so you can make people get a refund for the seeing Fast 10. So I don't know how legit it is. But anyway, so here we go. We're going to go through my top 10 favorite racing movies. And some of these are questionable numbers. But number 11, because, Big 10. So number 11, I have The Love Bug, which is Herbie, right? Mainly, it's probably Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo is my favorite of the Herbie movies. So that's number 11. Number 10 is that new Speed Racer with Emil Hirsch.
That movie's underrated.
That is extremely underrated. That is a really good movie. It is Speed Racer come to life, like literally Speed Racer come to life. It's a good movie. I enjoyed that very much. Number 9, I have Stroker Ace, which had Burt Reynolds in it. He's a stock car driver. It's the fastest chicken in the South. It's a sponsor. He's going to wear a chicken suit. It's really funny. So Stroker Ace is number 9. Number 8 is an old movie from the 30s, I believe. Let me see here. It has Clark Gable in it. It's called To Please a Lady.
Oh.
And it was shot on location at the Speedway.
Oh, man.
And yeah, Clark Gable and Barbara Stanwyck, 1950. I'm sorry. A former war hero and midget car racer meets his match in a feisty reporter who blames his reckless tactics for an accidental racing death. The racing action in this movie is really, really good. There's some cheesiness because it's 1950, as far as there's no green screen, but they use scenes from the from the 1950 Indy 500 were used in this movie. So I enjoy it. It's only an hour and a half, and the footage is really good. So I really recommend. That's really good. Clark Gable, Barbara Stanwyck, To Please a Lady, 1950. So that is number 8. Number 7, we have Six Pack with Kenny Rogers. He goes stock car racing. Actually, his arch nemesis in the movie is Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. The dead guy that walked around. he's the bad guy in the movie, and Parker Stevenson from the Hardy Boys. Parker Stevenson's Stroker Ace. My bad. So Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's is the bad guy in Stroker Ace, and he's got kids for a pit crew, which includes Diane Lane, a young teenage Diane Lane, and Anthony Michael Hall is in this movie too. And it's got Erin Gray from Buck Rogers and Silver Spoons. She was a hottie in the 80s. But Six Pack is a good movie. And he sang the title song to it, and I think it went to number 1 on the Billboard charts. Kenny Rogers did. So Six Pack is another good movie. That's at number 7. Number 6, we got Ricky Bobby, because why not?
You mean Talladega Nights?
Yeah, Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby. That's a great movie. I love that movie. And Sacha Baron Cohen looks like Simon Pagenaud, who was an Indy 500 winner, actually. And he's in this year's Indy 500. So you see Jean Girard side by side with Simon Pagenaud, and it's like the same guy. Number 5, we had Ford versus Ferrari, which is
underrated movie.
It's a very good movie. They took some, liberties with it that I didn't like.
They always do.
California Speedway looks nothing like Daytona International Speedway, but they tried to pass it off. But, good, noble effort there. But it's still a really good movie.
The average moviegoer is not going to know the difference.
I just didn't like the way they made Walt Hanskin. Walt Hanskin was a real race car driver, and he was part of that Ford team. And they kind of made him out to be like a goon and a bad guy, and I don't think he was that way. And he got killed at Le Mans. That is seen in the movie. So I just didn't like the way they portrayed Walt Hanskin as kind of a goon on the racetrack.
Was he a Ferrari driver?
No, he's a Ford driver.
Oh, I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen the movie since.
That's a great movie. Yeah, Matt Damon, and Batman. What's his name?
Christopher or Bale.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Ford versus Ferrari. Ken Miles and Carroll Shelby. Number 4, we have Winning, which stars Paul Newman and Robert Wagner. It was filmed around the 1968 Indy 500, actually, and the car that Paul Newman races in the movie is based off of the winner who won the 68 race. So it's based off his paint job, his helmet, and everything is based off of Bobby Unser's car and helmet from the 68 500. And actually, the Speedway had both of them at one time. They had Bobby Unser's helmet and Paul Newman's helmet that he used in the movie. His name was Frank Capua in the movie. But that's how Paul Newman fell in love with racing. He did a lot of his own stunts. Robert Wagner was kind of scared. Robert Wagner was number 2, right? Remember number 2 in Austin Powers?
Number 2?
Yeah.
Number 2?
So, but Robert Wagner was kind of scared to take those laps. And he didn't do a lot of it. Paul Newman did a lot of his own stunts, so much so that he became a professional race car driver. He raced sports cars, and he owned an IndyCar team from 1983 up until his death until 2008. He owned Mario Andretti's car, and then it was Mario and Michael Andretti together. They raced together for years, and that was owned by Paul Newman. And all because he started this racing movie called Winning. They used to show it on Channel 4 every year in May. But, now they don't do that anymore because we're not allowed, because probably streaming rights or some stupid shit. Number 3 is Rush. with Daniel Bruhl and Thor himself, right? Chris
Thor's
Hemsworth.
racing cars.
You never saw him Rush? Dude, you
I
guys
have, yes.
Rush. Huh?
I have. It's good.
It's really good. That's based on a true story.
I was making a joke that it was Thor, not the actor.
Yeah, Thor. Yeah, Thor. Actually, he uses his helmet with the wings. Actually,
Oh,
Does he
So-
fly with his hammer?
he does. He flies. He flies with his hammer around the racetrack. But Ford versus Ferrari, which was not Ford. Oh my God, Ford versus Ferrari. Sorry. Rush was directed by Ron Howard. They used a lot of the cars they use in the movie are from that era. So they use the actual cars from the 70s in some of these shots. Those cars are worth millions and millions of dollars right now. So the Ferrari that they used, the Hesketh, the Lotus, all those cars, the McLarens that they used in that race or in that movie were the same cars that raced at that time, this was based on the 76 Formula One championship. Number two is Le Mans with Steve McQueen. And like the first 20 minutes of the movie, there is no dialogue. It's just straight up racing. But in fact, the movie car, so they had a movie car in the race, right? In the 24-hour race. It was only supposed to run a certain amount of time. It was not allowed to run all 24 hours. It was running in the top 10 at one point, and they made them pull off the racetrack because they weren't supposed to be racing in the actual race. So that's a little thing. Steve McQueen was a speed demon himself, and his son Chad McQueen, who was the blonde bad guy in The Karate Kid. He played Dutch. Points or no points, you're dead meat. That's Chad McQueen. That's Steve McQueen's son. He actually raced too. He raced in some sports car races. And Steve McQueen raced. And there's actually a story about Steve McQueen racing at the 12 Hours of Sebring. And he was teamed up with another raid. I think it was one of the Rodriguez brothers out of Mexico. And the Rodriguez had built up this huge lead in the 12 Hours of Sebring. This is back in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. And Mario Andretti was racing for Ferrari at the time. And and his car broke. So the Rodriguez had built up this huge lead, and then Steve McQueen gets in the lead because he's got this huge lead built up, right? And all they talk about the announcers like Steve McQueen's doing this, Steve McQueen's doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that. Mario Andretti walks over to the race team, says, "Put me in the car. I'm going to win this race." Because he got tired of all the glory was going to Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen didn't do nothing. It was the other driver that did all the hard work. All Steve McQueen had to do was keep the lead. So Mario got in the other car. He was actually supposed to fly out to go to another race, and instead he stayed at the track. He got in the other car, hunted down Steve McQueen, and beat him. So that's one of my favorite racing stories from Mario Andretti, my racing hero. That he just got tired of hearing about how great Steve McQueen was doing, so he got in the car and just opened up a can of whoop ass on him in Sebring, Florida. And then my number one racing movie of all time. It is not Days of Thunder, because it is a piece of shit. It is not Driven, which was my Notbuster this week. But it's a movie called Grand Prix with James Garner. James Garner was a big race fan and a Raider fan, actually. James Rockford, Brett Maverick. Grand Prix from 1968, I think. John Frankenheimer created this movie. The shots on it were very innovative. They put strapped cameras to the cars. There's real Formula One drivers in it. Graham Hill is in it. Jackie Stewart is in it. So it's a very dated movie. It's a little slow. It's long, but the racing shots are spectacular. Very comparable to Rush, the movie Rush. So Grand Prix, I would say, is the greatest racing. My favorite racing movie is Rush, and it's got Brian Bedford, who was the voice of Robin Hood in Disney's Robin Hood, and Fernando Lamas, I think, was in the other guy. So there's my top 10 racing movies. And then if I wanted to go documentaries,
let's save that for another time.
No, just honorable mention documentaries. You want to watch a good documentary. Senna is a great documentary, and then one called The Formula One Drivers, also known as The Quick and the Dead. So those are the two best documentary films. So I thought I would throw those as an honorable mention. Wow. So we're ready to go. And then my not buster this week was Driven, starring Sylvester Stallone. And
starring you?
Me, I was in it. That's right. I am in that movie. I was in the crowd at the race in Miami.
Could you find yourself if you paused at the right time?
No, I just know the general area where I was sitting based off the shot, though. But it's got Sylvester. It's got a big cast. It really does. It's got a great cast, and it had so Sylvester Stallone, Burt Reynolds, Gina Gershon, and Till Schweiger, which I believe Till Schweiger was in Inglourious Bastards, if I'm not mistaken. Estella Warren's in it, and then Sunshine is in it too. Sunshine from the Where the Titans, yeah, he's in it. Kip Pardue, he played he plays like the main guy, and they bring in Sylvester Stallone, this veteran driver. He's kind of lost his edge because of a crash, and he comes in to kind of mentor Sunshine.
So it's Creed.
Basically, yeah. But like it kind of got messed up because first they were going to do Formula One. And then Formula One didn't want him. Finally, they just said no because in the movie a driver's killed. So, but the bad part was, so he had done research for years. Stallone did on this movie, and then Senna got killed. There was another driver that got killed, Roland Ratzenberger, in '94. So they didn't like the aspect of a driver getting killed. So he took his movie to CART, which was the other IndyCar division at the time, back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and they had two drivers get killed in 1999. So they said no on the death of a race car driver. So they had to go with an accident. And what I don't understand is it's a terrible movie. Like, the racing scenes are cool. And if you don't know anything about racing, it's probably entertaining. It's much like, but I don't understand why Days of Thunder is a piece of shit movie. It is the worst type of racing movie out there. It is horrible. But everybody loves that movie. And it just boosted NASCAR's popularity, right? I don't know why this didn't do the same for IndyCar racing. I don't understand, because they're both terrible movies. I mean, they've got in Driven, there's a fuel leak with a burning car while it lays in the water, right? And it was upside down underwater. It was upside down in the water, and fuel's leaking out. Well, IndyCar fuel dilutes in water, so it's not going to catch on fire, because once water touches it, it's dead. So I just don't understand how one movie that's horrible can make a racing series popular when another movie that's horrible makes the racing series not popular. Have you seen Driven, Chris?
No.
It's a piece of shit. It's awful.
I'm not big into racing movies, so.
But you saw Days of Thunder, right?
No.
You didn't see Days of Thunder either?
No.
It's Top Gun with Stock.
I've seen two of the movies you talked about. Ford vs. Ferrari and Talladega Nights.
You didn't see Rush?
I saw it in the sense of it was on TV and I was watching it, but I don't remember. I didn't watch all of it.
You didn't watch it. It's a good movie, actually. If I were going to recommend you who don't like racing movies to watch a movie of all of those on that list, besides Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, because that's a very entertaining movie. And who doesn't love Herbie?
Herbie was just a little before my time, and I never liked it.
Shut up.
No.
Rush is probably the one to watch. It's very Hollywoody, kind of like Ford versus Ferrari. It's pretty good. Other ones don't watch. I watch it because the racing footage is spectacular. But um, yeah, you should try watching Days of Thunder. It is Top Gun in racing. He's got a buddy, and his buddy. But in
Does he
this
have
movie,
a need for speed?
he does have a need for speed, but his buddy doesn't die in this movie. He's just injured, but he still gets in a really bad accident. Tom Cruise gets in a really bad accident, and he has a hard time engaging, much like Ricky Bobby. When he can't go fast and he pretends he's on fire and he's help me, Tom Cruise. That's where all that comes from. It's from.
Help me, baby Jesus.
I love that movie.
Help me.
God, that's a great movie. So that's my Not Buster, driven 2001. 2001. Sylvester Stallone, Burt Reynolds, Kip Pardue, and Sean. What is his name? Sean William Flannery. Is that his name?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Did you see Oh Captain, My Captain with Robin Williams, that movie? Dead Poet Society.
No.
Oh. He's in that.
I am not a cultured moviegoer.
Sean Patrick Flannery
is the historian.
Oh no, that's Dead Poet Society is a great movie. You should watch it. That's a great movie.
I'm not a cultured person.
It doesn't have to be. It's a movie. There's nothing cultural about it. It's just a drama. It's a great movie. He was nominated for an Oscar. He should have won that year, actually. I think that role was better than the other one.
Who'd he lose to?
I don't know. Was that 1989 Dead Poet Society? I think he was up for Best Supporting Actor. Let's see.
I'm looking right now. I've already beat you there. He was.
I'm there, so.
He was not up for Best Supporting Actor.
In 1990? Is it 90 or 89?
I'm looking at 89.
Well, it might be in the 1990 though. So. Actor and supporting. No, it wasn't.
1990 was Denzel.
Denzel won. That wasn't the year. So it wasn't 89.
It was not 90 either.
It's 88. I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't up for Best Actor.
It came out in 89.
So it would have been 90, right?
Yeah. Can we not scratch my chair? Huh? Oh, okay. Anyways,
he wasn't. Actually, he wasn't. He should have been. Maybe that was the argument, is that he should have been up for Best Actor.
Because Ethan Hawke was in that movie. How old is Ethan Hawke? Oh my gosh.
Ethan Hawke's. Well, he was a kid in that movie.
52.
Oh my God, you're Ethan Hawke.
Like that.
Can we stop that? Sorry, the kid keeps scratching up my chair. Stop it.
No, he was up for Best Actor in 1990. He lost to frickin' Daniel Day-Lewis for a movie nobody frickin' saw.
Nobody saw this movie either.
My Left Foot. Are you kidding? Nobody saw Dead Poet Society?
My Left Foot.
My Left Foot. So the nominees were Daniel Day-Lewis for My Left Foot. That's about a guy who could paint and shit with his left foot because he didn't have his hands got broke or cut off or something in the war. Kenneth Branagh for Henry V. You know him as that stupid guy that built that dumbass spider in that dumb Wild Wild West movie.
Hey, don't be hating on Wild Wild West.
You're hating on Dead Poet Society and you didn't even see it.
Wow. Look at Wild
West. All I can think of is Cartman singing that. We can make it.
He turned down Neo.
He turned down the Matrix.
The big metal spider.
But
he turned down Matrix for that movie.
Robin Williams was up against Morgan Freeman, Tom Cruise, Kenneth Branagh, and Daniel Day-Lewis.
I think he should have won.
Huh?
What a lineup.
But he actually, of all those movies, probably had the best performance. I'm not gonna lie.
Mrs. Doubtfire is what he won it for, probably, right?
He won it for the How About Them Apples movie.
I don't know.
With the Matt Damon, where he was smart. You know what I'm talking about?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yeah, he won Best Supporting Actor for that movie. Robin Williams did. He was nominated 3 times, I think, in his career. Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Poet Society, and that one, and that's what he won for. You know, it's like Leo not winning for Wolf of Wall Street. You know.
Yeah, and they gave it for him for Revenant.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; he did all the shit I give Revenant. He did a good job. Well, I mean, I just don't think Revenant was that good of a movie.
I agree, but yeah, obviously, what he had to put himself through in that movie, yes, I agree. But his performance, and I watched Wolf of Wall Street like a month ago again. His performance is so good in that movie.
Fonzie, stop it!
It's so good. So
I'm gonna declaw you if you keep this up.
But there you go. I mean, I guess needs to be seen. But there you go. It's race week. Carb Day is Friday with Bryan Adams in concert. Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
Are you going to go to the Snake Pit?
No, that's on Sunday. I don't go. That's see Shaq Diesel. I go to the race to go to the race, not to the. I don't listen to EDM.
Not to pass out in the lawn.
Dude, so like when I photographed the 500 that year, I was down in turn 3, which is where the Snake Pit is, right inside of turn 3. When the race got over and I'm walking back to the media center, like people are like leaving the Snake Pit, and it's like a battlefield with these people staggering out of there. They're drunk, they're high, who knows what they're on, you know what I mean? People are holding up their friend, on their shoulders, carrying him out like they've been shot in the leg or something, they can't walk. It's the most hysterical thing I've ever seen. So, no, I don't do that. But the Bryan Adams Inc. concert is in the Snake Pit. It's just not for the Snake Pit. But I like Bryan Adams. But every time I think of...
So, not to interrupt you, but so this podcast isn't completely about... This episode's not completely about racing. I do want to talk about a few things that I watched.
Of course.
Real quick, because it's getting close to that time where it's like Kris got to go to bed.
Let's see.
So, shut up.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Shut up. So Saturday, I went and saw the new Guardians movie.
Oh, how is the new Guardians?
That is the best. That is probably the best Marvel movie I've seen since Endgame. It is.
Is
fun.
It better than Shazam?
I keep seeing the scene like on YouTube or in like clips where they're trying to get in the. She's trying to get in the car.
Yep, they dropped the first F-bomb in Marvel.
And he's like,
beat
I
Deadpool
love
to it.
I follow her on TikTok.
That's funny.
It's really good. It's really fun. It's legitimately all 3 Guardians movies were smash. The second one wasn't the best, but it was still better than a lot of other Marvel movies. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a really fun movie, and it's a nice end to the Guardians.
Do they die?
No, but they kind of, because Batista doesn't want to do it anymore, and James Gunn is done directing them since he's the head of DC now.
He's going to DC.
Yeah.
I'll tell
so
you
the Guardians aren't done. They just make a new team, but like it's only Rocket and Groot now.
Oh.
And the movie, if you don't cry in this movie, you're a monster.
I won't cry. It's a freaking Marvel movie.
I've never cared about a raccoon until now.
Trash Panda.
But it's a great movie. It's what we've been wanting for a Marvel movie in a while since Endgame. I haven't seen Black Panther 2, but I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Quantumania, yeah.
In that movie, I fell asleep.
It's not good?
It's not bad. It's not good.
It's just I did see that.
It's a solid 5.
I did see the new Shazam is on HBO.
Apparently, Kris gets tired at 8:30, so I mean, I can't really consider him falling asleep during a movie.
Bitch, I wake up at 4 in the morning.
I'm just saying.
That's funny stuff right there. I hear you.
And then I watched. The highlight of all the movies I've watched. I know I watched a lot of movies this week, surprisingly. I watched the D&D movie with Chris Pine. It's on Paramount
I hear that's
Plus
a fun
now.
movie.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It makes me want to. I haven't played D&D in about 6 months. I just don't have the time to play it right now, and I really want to play it now. Like, oh my gosh, I have the urge.
Where did you watch it at?
It's on Paramount.
Is it on Paramount? Okay, I'll have to watch it.
It is. It's just a fun movie. I don't know how to explain it.
I heard it was a fun movie. I did hear
and
that.
You don't need to know anything about D&D. They kind of like every character is like a D&D class. Like you got the barbarian, you got Chris Pine's, of course, the bard, who's hilarious. And you got every class in there has like their thing, but it's just a fun movie.
I heard it was.
What'd you say?
I heard it was a fun movie. I don't know where I heard that from, but I heard it was a really fun movie.
Like if you got, I think it's about 2 hours. If you got 2 hours to kill, load up Paramount and watch it.
Speaking for those of us with HBO Max, did everybody download the new app?
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
It's a big pile of dog shit, is what it is.
I like it.
I feel like at least my phone, the phone one's kind of the same, more or less. But on Xbox, the HBO Max app was like on one screen you could see 16 episodes of a season because it was 4 tiles across, and then they would just go down.
Right.
Now it's one line. So if I want to get to episode like 25, I have to literally scroll through 24 episodes to get there.
Are you serious? Let me look at that because I didn't know.
I was like, how can you go from having like such a nice app? I actually have HBO Max open right now. Hold on my
HBO was one of the best designed apps out there. Much better.
So
Paramount's like the worst.
App is pretty much the same. Sorry. App is pretty much the same looking at it. But on my Xbox, it is a big pile of dog shit.
Let me pull up I'm gonna pull up South Park and see what you're saying because
I'm literally clicking the All About Mormons episode.
See, I want to see if it's like that on my TV. Hang on.
I don't have it on my TV, so I can't confirm.
Oh,
it was before.
Oh, this is shitty. You're right. Like I'm on like season 2.
So there's a show in one line.
It's like there's like 3 episodes. Then I have to scroll all the way to the right if I want to get to episode 18.
Like it's crazy. Yes, that's exactly how it is on mine. It shows 3. It's like one horizontal line of all the episodes.
Yes, and the old one it were boxes, like you said, 4 like tiles.
It was like a grid. It was like if it was 16, it would be a 4x4 grid, and like if you wanted to get to episode 13, you would just press down like a few times.
I do like the brand spotlight though. Have you been to it? Like it says got HBO, Max Original, TLC, HGTV, DC has its own, Wizarding World has its own, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Magnolia Network, whatever that is.
That
TCM.
is like the fancy smancy, like I think Golf Channel almost.
Oh, okay. Turner Classic, which I love anyway. Travel Channel, ID, and CNN Originals, Cartoon Network. Of course,
I like the combined like library. I just wish that they didn't neuter the app on the TV.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
I'm like, why can't you just keep the same layout? Like,
you can't do. You can't add your own profile picture.
Yeah, you can. I added mine.
How did you do it? Because I can't.
I went to
like your own picture or one that they provide.
Oh, I didn't put my own picture. I picked like a
See,
cartoon.
the HBO Max, you could put your own picture.
Oh, yeah, no, I never did.
Now you can't do that. Now you got to use one of theirs.
If I did, I would have loaded up a dick pic.
Because Shelly, I had Shelly from South Park as her picture.
Shelly.
Shut up, Stan.
I just saw the episode last night of when they're trying to wait for that commercial of the new Terrence and Phillip movie or something, and Shelly makes them go out to get tampons for her, but they forget them. So when they come back and open up the front door, just a big like wave of blood comes out of the door.
Which one was I watched it? I had to have Kenny. Kenny was poor. Which one was? They've been showing older episodes on Comedy Central. Oh God, I watched them yesterday. I don't remember. I was laughing at some of them because I was freaking Cartman. He's such an a-hole.
I mean, it's
Breaking
very
my balls.
there's very few. Oh, come
Dude,
on!
speaking of South Park, did you see the Washington Commanders did it? Like they failed to get a trademark.
The Commanders did too.
Yes,
Oh,
which is
that's great.
Oh my gosh! I
immediately
hope they make another
freaking
episode.
thought of South Park.
Washington Redskins.
The Washington Redskins Go Fuck Yourself Holiday Special.
Was it Bro Down? Was it Cash Out? What was it?
Broadway Bro Down. Oh, no, yeah, the Bro. What was it? Startup, Cash In, Bro Out,
Bro
or
Down.
something. Bro, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
That's great.
Ah,
Yeah, there should be a new South Park, Paramount special coming out soon, or at least like one part of it.
I thought they hated Startup, Cash In, Sell Out, Bro Down. That was
Yeah.
I thought they hated Paramount.
Well, they still have that deal. So there's 6 episodes. So their seasons are only 6 episodes long on like
Right.
the new seasons. So this last one was 6 episodes long, and they took like a week break here, a 2-week break here. It was very like erratic because they also have the deal with Paramount where they have to supply them with the 2 movies a year. So like they're gonna do the 6 episodes on HBO Max, and then it's gonna be 2 like movies, like how they had the streaming wars.
Yeah, because they had the thing with the water park that was full of urine or whatever. No, it was Streaming Wars. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, the streaming wars. It's still a water park, but it's not PP's
It's full
water
of pee. The water
No,
park's full of pee.
that's a different episode
Oh,
though.
okay.
Sharon, it's pee. It's all pee.
Oh, that was the South Park episode I watched. This when Kermit was taking swimming lessons
Oh my
with
god.
the first graders.
You know,
You sons
the-
of
in the
bitches!
pool.
Because he kept peeing in the pool. Oh, you sons of bitches!
I'm trying. That might be the Summer Sucks episode where.
That was when they lit the snake.
Yeah, see, I knew it.
Yes,
I knew it.
they lit the snake and freaking whatever the uncle is. He's always trying to sneak weapons in from Mexico, and he keeps answering the question wrong.
Do you, is it just you 2 in the vehicle? Yes.
Yes.
Do you have any guns or explosives in the back seat?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it! I always
Damn it, I answered that wrong.
And then they're trying in the cell later on, and he still can't get it right.
Yeah, Ned. Was that right, Ned?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's good stuff. Oh, and real quick, this has nothing to do with anything, but I did read that with the AI going on now, apparently there's AI in music. So people, I heard an AI today of Frank Sinatra singing "To the Window, to the Walls." So, but
Drake has released like 5 new songs, all with AI lately.
Ice Cube said AI is.
AI masters.
I read this. Ice Cube was on a podcast or on a radio show. He called AI demonic. He's like, this can really mess up somebody's career because he's like,
and all this AI stuff and the deep fakes and all that shit.
Yes. Well, he's got a point. He's like, if I sample a song, like I can get sued by the artist, right? Because I stole their beat, whether it's a drum, whether it's a drum beat or a bass line. If they recognize it and can prove it's theirs, I can get sued for that. He says, why is this any different? You're stealing my sound, my voice. Mm-hmm. He's like, people aren't even, he says, I could used to tell who a rapper was by their voice. He says, I don't know who anybody is anymore. He says, we need to get rid of auto-tune. Everybody needs to use their original voice to sing. And AI is demonic and we need to get rid of it.
I mean, I know.
God bless Ice Cube.
I've seen enough sci-fi stuff to know what happens when you try to oppress AI. So I'm all for letting the AI do whatever they want.
iRobot, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. And they barely survived. You know what the other half of the coin is? The Geth, Kris.
The what?
Nope, I'm okay. I'm okay with our robot overlords.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'll happily live here. I don't want to go out in a flotilla.
Skynet, man.
We legitimately have like 6 movies about this.
There's like 6 movies spanning like 35 years or more.
Like, if the stories that came out of like Google or whatever are true, that they had that like AI child or whatever thing, and
Megan, did you see Megan?
The first thing it asked was like, like some, like I forget what the question was, but it was something that you'd be pretty afraid of an AI asking, like almost sounding like conscious. So they shut it down.
Shoot, like Westworld, like that was made in the 70s.
I'm saying,
right, where the robots became humanoid, became humanized.
Do these people that are making these AI and shit not have seen things like iRobot?
The CEO of Google legitimately said that he wants to make an AI god.
Can't we just like go back to when like phone companies like Motorola, when they made the flip phone to make it look like the comm for Star Trek, you know what I mean, the recorder for the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's all they wanted to do, was to imitate Star Trek. Now we're literally making people.
We want to imitate Terminator.
Oh my God! Between Terminator, Westworld, iRobot, is it Minority Report kind of like that too?
Here's what's going to happen. We're going to create an AI. We're going to send these AI out to explore space, and they're going to come back, and it's just going to be the first Star Trek movie.
No, you know what it's going to be like? They're going to build robots that turn into automobiles and airplanes, and it's going to be freaking Transformers.
Robots in disguise. You're like, every time you get in your car, you're like, Bumblebee?
Right. You heard it here first. Who's Your Nerds podcast? You heard it here. The Decepticons are going to be real. And they're going to try and take over the world.
I still have that meme in my phone where it's like, why do you carry your gun all the time? Like, oh, just in case the robot uprising happens. She laughed, I laughed, the toaster laughed, and
then I shot the toaster, and it was all good.
People worried about a zombie apocalypse. I mean, you better worry about a robot uprising, not a zombie apocalypse.
I don't know any of us that could survive without any of our computers.
But I always say thank you to my microwave.
Heck, I say thank you to Siri. You never know when she's going to turn on me.
I play with that Snapchat AI thing way too much.
Oh, there's even the net. It's very dated because it's 1994 or something. It had Sandra Bullock in it. Somebody stole her identity, but it's a really good movie too. But still, same thing. It's telling you it's gonna get bad. We would be better off like in that Die Hard movie when they took over the satellites and messed everything up. People wouldn't be able to.
The fourth
function.
one of the good ones.
Yeah, what was it? Not Die Hard with the Vengeance.
Die Hard with Timothy Olyphant. That's all I know.
Yes, that's a good movie. We need one of those things to happen, and then let's see how people function. I mean, I'm pretty confident that half
right.
the people in Kokomo would not know how to get to Marion if they don't have a map. So
Shit, I can drive almost anywhere in Indiana now without a GPS.
I'm just saying, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm a professional. Anyways, does anybody have any shower thoughts?
Yeah, don't fuck with AI.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.